appearance. Now, I had one of my students, she was dating a guy who was wonderful in many ways. He was charming, he was attractive, he was successful, but he had one tiny little flaw. What do you think that was?
Addiction.
That's a little more serious, but that wasn't that. No, that's not. Anything else? What do you think?
They weren't the same love type.
What's that?
They weren't the same love type.
Well, okay, that's a clever answer, but no, that's not it.
Stingy.
Stingy! Okay, what do you mean by stingy?
I don't know, she said it, she wouldn't tell you.
Okay. You're kind of on the right track.
He doesn't like to spend money.
Okay, well, that's an issue. Actually, no, he was kind of messy. You know, he was a bachelor, so he would leave his pizza boxes and beer cans all over the house. Anyone like that? You know what I'm talking about? It's messy. Now, she thought to herself, once we get married, once we live together, he's going to change. But guess what? It didn't work out that way. You know, he was even worse than that. And she was very neat and organized. For her, that was a difficult thing, and they were not compatible. So based on these ideas of compatibility, I started to do research. And the famous psychologist named Carl Jung, you may have heard about, talked about the psychological types. He studied that some people are like turtles, for example. They like to have, you know, their shell, and they have a few close friends and acquaintances, and he called those introvert people. Other people are like rabbits. They're always out there with people. They socialize a lot. He called those extroverts. So he created this psychological theory. In the 1940s and 50s, a mother and daughter team named Myers and Briggs created a personality test, which you may have heard about. The Myers-Briggs personality test is one of the most popular in the world. It's used in business, military, and education. In the 90s, I created love types. I actually applied it to love and relationships. It became very popular. It's used in the #1 dating site in China for compatibility and other places. So today I'm going to teach you guys some of the secrets behind love types. And my new book, Guide Types, which we're going to talk about as well, basically teach you the 4 magic questions you need to ask to identify your soulmate. Would you guys like to learn? Yeah. Okay, the 4 magic questions. So basically ask these questions and we'll figure it out. To do that, I need someone to help me out. In fact, I need perhaps a female who's maybe emotional or feeling. Any females in here? Emotional, feeling personalities? Did you say go? Is that what you said?
I was trying to get my girlfriend to go.
Okay, you know when people do that, they volunteer themselves, right? So come on. Okay, yeah, take your seat. There you go. Okay. All right, so get a female. And what is your name?
Claudia.
Oh, come have a seat. Thanks for coming up. Okay, now, of course, we have a female, so what do we need now? We need a gentleman. Okay, so gentlemen, please come up.
Don't all take at once.
Wow. Okay, I like that. Okay, round of applause for a gentleman. Oh, yeah, very nice. Okay, what is your name, sir?
Roger.
Okay, good. Okay, let's say these guys are basically, they're meeting each other right now, right? And they're, you know, want to see if they're compatible. So we're going to teach you 4 questions you need to ask. The first question has to do with whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. Now, introverts people get energy from their own thoughts. They like to think, write, read, and meditate. They might have a few close friends. Extroverts are people that like to socialize, they like to be with a lot of people, they like to communicate a lot. So there's a very simple question you ask. Ask him, what does he do for fun in his spare time?
Roger, what do you do for fun on your spare time?
Dancing.
Okay. All right, anything else? Ask him anything else.
Do you like to hang out with friends, or you like to do your own thing?
Do my own thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now ask her the same question.
Claudia, what do you do? What do you enjoy doing in your spare time?
I enjoy going for hikes, runs.
And do you like to be with a lot of people, or you know, or few, or stay introvert?
Depends what time of the month it is.
Oh. Thank you for that.
Okay. So it's a love types time of the month, right? So that's a good time. Okay. Now based on her, his answer, is he introvert or extrovert, do you think? Is he I or E? I introvert, E extrovert. Say it again. E? Why do you think so?
He likes to go out and dance and socialize.
Okay, but remember, what he says, how does he spend his time though? Alone, right? Are you more of an internal person? You like to spend time on your own, more or less?
If I took all the hours of the day,
Yes.
I spend more time with myself.
Okay, that's a good question, right? Now, many people misconstrue the term introversion. He thinks that you're shy, but I wrote a book called The Gift of Shyness, and it's totally different. Introversion is about energy. You know, you can be a non-shy introvert. You can go out and talk to a lot of people, but you get tired, you need to recharge your batteries on your own. Whereas an extrovert can be out all the time, right? Talking to people, interacting, that's how they get energy. Why is that important? First of all, 50-50 in our society, 50% of people are introverts, 50% are extroverts. However, you often get an extrovert with an introvert, and if they don't respect each other's styles, you can have a lot of problems. The extrovert likes to go out and socialize, right? The introvert likes to stay home. So they say, well, why don't you want to go out with me? You're such a couch mashed potato, right? Says the extrovert to the introvert. The introvert says, hey, you, why do you want to go with everyone else? Who do you love more, them or me? You see that feeling? So again, an extrovert also likes to talk. They like to communicate. Introverts like to think things over. So let's say to him, hey, honey, why is it that we don't go out anymore? We used to go out all the time. What's wrong with you? And then, of course, he says,
Okay, Roger.
okay, Roger, are you okay with this? Okay. So Roger says, Roger says, okay, let me think about it. I'm going to email you in the morning. Okay, we'll figure it out. Okay. So I got to process it. I'm an introvert. Now, again, this is a split. Now, based on research, though, any combination can work, introvert, extrovert, extrovert, introvert, but there is one combination that is very difficult. Can anyone guess what that is?
Introvert.
No, that's actually fine because they can listen to each other
Oh.
and be quiet. Yeah, right.
Is it on this dimension, introvert, extrovert?
Yeah, I'm talking about this dimension, yeah, extrovert, introvert dimension. There's one that's really a difficult combination in terms of research.
Extrovert.
No, you're close. An extrovert female with an introvert male has the most problems in chores, finances, communication, and sex.
Say it again. Process.
Extrovert female with a male introvert
Yeah, okay.
has the most
I'm
problems.
breaking up
Got
with you,
it.
Roger.
Wait.
Already?
No. We have 3 more questions now. Let's be patient. Now think about that. Why is that? Because first of all, it's a non-traditional combination. Now she's the one that orders at the restaurant. She takes charge of things. He's quieter. So if she doesn't respect his style, she might think he's a weak, a wimp, right? Doesn't have something the male essentials, let's say, right? But if he doesn't respect her style and she's loud and outspoken, he might think she's a
Bossy bitch.
yeah. Exactly. Very tough on here. It's like,
There's no filter from here to here, sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Okay.
Other people are.
We love you. Okay, sorry. Okay, however, now here's the key though. If you respect a person's style, you might be able to work it out. It is possible to be complementary in terms of your styles. So the introvert, she can calm you down, and you can bring some life to him, right? A little bit of party orientation. Okay, question number 2. This is a really good one. Are you imaginative or practical? Now you guys may have had to score the N on your test. N means intuitive or imaginative. You're the kind of person that's very creative. You like to look at the possibilities of life. You like psychology, philosophy, spirituality, and the arts. If you have the letter S, that means you're what we call sensory or practical. You're realistic and concrete. You like to see life as it comes. Enjoy life, as you see it. Now, here's a question for that. What would you do if you won $10 million? Ask him.
What would you do?
Travel.
Where?
Everywhere I wanted to go, and as long as I was having a good time.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, ask her the same question.
What would you do with $10 million?
Travel the world.
Okay, where would you go?
Certainly would be in, I haven't done Eastern Europe yet, so I would do Eastern Europe first, then probably Asia.
Okay, thank you for your answer.
Okay. Now, when people say that, you would say, okay, with the rest of the money, the rest of your life, it's $10 million, would you do anything else?
No.
I'd write books, just full-time on the beach. I'd be writing books.
What kind of book?
And love courses books, so I do my workshops and teach the love languages and all that good stuff, and write my books on relationships.
Okay, interesting. And how about you? What would you do if you had more money and more time?
Difficult question. I have to process that one more, but what comes to my mind? I do volunteer work, and I get a lot of pleasure from that. So, and I like building things with my hands. So I would probably just keep myself busy doing those 2 things.
Okay, very good. See, I want you guys to become what I call love detectives, or love profilers. So basically, you meet people and you start to listen to their answers, right, and see what kind of type they are. Based on her response, is she imaginative or practical? Is she the letter N, which means intuitive or imaginative, or S means sensory practical?
Practical.
N. What would you say she's at? N?
Yeah, I have what her badge says in.
Well, yeah, of course. Sometimes you might test a certain way, but reality is something different. So, but why do you think she is an N? N meaning imaginative.
Well, she wants to write books, meaning that she likes to deal in ideas.
Okay, that's a beautiful, exactly, right? So an imaginative person says, I want to write the great American novel. I want to go to the Himalayas and meditate. I want some change in the world. Now his answer was what? Practical or imaginative?
Practical.
Practical, right? He would enjoy, what did you say again?
Travel and make
Travel and make things, right? So you're a very hands-on kind of guy, right? Realistic and concrete. Now this is a very important dimension in compatibility what we call the imaginative versus practical dimension. 70% of happily married couples are the same or similar on this dimension. Either both practical or both imaginative.
Yeah.
And by the way, 75% of people are practical, 25% are imaginative. So she's more of a minority. Why is that important? Because when you're in a relationship, let's say, with someone who's imaginative, with someone who's practical, there can be some differences and there can be some conflicts. The imaginative person is always into their big idea, right? Their dreams. The practical person is into reality. I don't care about your potential for the future to make X amount of things. Tell me what you're doing right now. What's your bank account look like right now? Okay, that's a big problem. And again, the imaginative person may be interested in psychology and spirituality and all these different esoteric things. The other person is into day-to-day life, enjoying life, traveling and things like that. So, for example, you might say to her, what's your dream of life? Well, I want to create harmony in the world. I want to elevate my aura to a higher point of view. And the practical person says, why don't you elevate yourself off the couch and take out the trash?
You're right.
Or, let's take care of business, let's do something about it. So that could be a problem, right? That could be an issue. Okay, but again, I'm not going to give up on you guys yet, because, you're not, okay, you still got two more possibilities, two more compatible dimensions, okay? By the way, so far, what do we know about him? He's a extrovert or introvert?
Introvert.
Introvert. She's a
Extrovert.
extrovert. Are you an extrovert? Did we find that? Okay. Is she practical or imaginative?
Imaginative.
Okay, and he is? Okay,
Practical.
so if you're keeping score, she has the letter E. Okay, well, they're a cute couple, I don't know. Okay, the letter E for her and the letter N, and for him, he's got the I and the S. S is sensory practical, I is introvert. Okay, so this is if you keep a score. Okay, this other question is one of my favorites. Are you a thinker or a feeler? Okay, now listen carefully to what I'm saying. A thinker is someone who's more a logical person who makes decisions based on their logic and what they feel is just, right, and true. A feeling person makes decisions based on their emotions, their values, and the impact something will have on a relationship. If a feeler needs to say something to someone, but it may hurt their feelings, they may not say it. Whereas a thinker might say, that you look a little fat in that shirt, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings.
Stay away from
You look a little, you gotta change that shirt. Okay, all right, here's a question. What's your favorite movie, and why do you like it? This is the movie question.
Oh, gosh.
Ask
Okay.
me the question.
Oh, what's your favorite movie, and why do you like it, Roger?
God, Gone in 60 Seconds. Exciting.
Is it exciting?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay.
Claudia, what's your favorite movie?
Gosh, I have so many. But I do love the movie Beaches because it's about two friends that have a really strong bond.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so based on that answer, is he a thinker or a feeler, do you think? Thinker. Are you a very logical kind of guy? Do you go by your logic? Okay. Based on her answer, is she a feeler or a thinker?
Feeler.
I was gonna say Scarface, but
Okay. Okay, well, I'm Cuban, so I can identify with that. Okay. So tell me, why do you like Scarface? Okay.
because I love Al Pacino.
Okay, he's a badass, is that what you Okay. But besides that, anything else you like about the movie, per se?
I love the story, the immigrant story, and yeah, just his story.
Okay. Now here, the key to this question is not just the movie, but why they liked it. Now, a logical person will say they liked it because of the plot, the storyline, it was competently made. The feeling person would say because it touched me, right? The relationships made me cry. Now, if you look at it that way, what do you think she is, a thinker or a feeler?
Feeler.
Yeah, she's a feeler.
What do you think you are, a thinker or a feeler?
I think I'm a thinker, but I don't know.
Okay. What did you say about the Al Pacino movie? Besides she likes Al Pacino, why didn't she like it? The storyline, right? It was well made, the plot. So she's actually a thinking person. Now, you got to be careful because you can ask someone, okay, what's your favorite movie? Titanic. Thinker or feeler?
Feeler.
I like the way the explosions that people's heads came off in a very accurate, realistic way, and it was made to scale, and the acting was competent. Or what?
Thinker.
It's a thinker, right? It's a thinking answer to a feeling movie. Or you can ask them for something like, what's your favorite movie? Star Trek. So Star Trek, they're what?
Thinker.
Probably
Right.
thinkers, yeah.
Because at the end, when Spock became human, he cried, and I cried too. So I felt, his pain, right? Okay, so that is what? A feeling response to a thinking. So that's the key. No, so basically, hey, we'll get a match in this one, right? I think, right? They're both what? thinkers, right? They're logical, analytical people, you know, they go by their analytical mind. Why is that important? Now, there's a guy that wrote a book, John Gray. You've heard of John Gray? He did Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. He actually endorsed my book, Love Types. He's talking about men and women being from different planets. But it really is not about gender. In the thinking, feeling dimension, it's about communication styles. Now, typically about 2/3 of females are feelers, and around 45% of males are feelers as well. But the difference here is that it's a different style of communication. Now, there are males that are sensitive, by the way, they're feelings. In fact, raise your hand if you're a sensitive male in here. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, I got one guy in the back, kind of, just walked in. Okay, now do guys usually want to admit that in our society? Right?
No.
Right, because it's kind of a counter stereotype, you know, that they're not strong and weak. Are there any thinking females in here? Logical females. Okay. So again, the same idea, right? You know, you're not a feminine personality, but it's not really true, right? It's just a stereotype per se. But the key is how do you communicate? Now, who here is a feeling personality? You know you're an emotional style person. Raise your hands. Okay. Feelings. Okay. Now, in a love relationship, what do you like? For example.
Pretty hard, Phil asked me that.
Okay.
He was,
Do you like romance? You like
Loyalty.
loyalty.
She
Okay.
likes loyalty.
Okay. Anyone else here are feelers? Raise your hands if you're feelers. Okay. What do you like in a relationship?
attention, so,
Okay. What kind of attention?
well, loving attention.
Loving attention. Okay. Great. Okay. So you like holding hands and verbal affection, affirmation. You guys heard of the 4 love languages? You know, words of affirmation, right? Romantic gestures, walks along the beach. You know, the person likes that. Who's the thinking, male or female, right? Then there are males who are feeling, right? Some guys in the back. Sir, are you a feeling, sir, back there?
Yes, sir.
What do you like as a feeling male in terms of a relationship?
I like spending quality time. I like some of that. I like doing things together. I like, you know, finding activities.
Okay. Like what would be a good activity you can do with as a feeling male?
When you say it like that. I would say maybe volunteering together. You know?
I can hear that.
Volunteering together.
Oh, okay, volunteer. Okay, so helping people, humanitarian gestures. Okay, so that's kind of nice. Now, thinking people, what do you like in a relationship? You know, male or female? Who's here as a thinker? Okay.
Humor.
Humor. Okay, what kind of humor do you like?
I like smart humor, political humor.
There you go. Okay, so you like maybe a little sarcasm too, right? A little bit of witty repartee, a little bit of debate. So intellectual compatibility is important for thinking personalities, right? That's what attracts them. You guys heard of the term sapiophile, which means attracted to brains, right? Someone that finds that attractive, you know, the intelligent personality. So some of you have that style. Now here's the issue. Now we get a thinker and a feeler, and again, more women are feelers than men. You might have an issue there because you got to learn how to communicate in their style. So for example, you know, let's say you're a feeler, okay?
Okay. And
you're a thinker. You guys go off and get married tonight, you know, for some reason. And then, you know, 7 years later, what happens? Beg your pardon? No, not necessarily. That's actually a theory that people teach. Actually, do you guys know the brain chemical theory of love? Have you heard of that before? Where typically the first 9 months you have amphetamines, you know, when you're in the high feeling of being in love, right? Yeah, it lasts about 9 months. And then that goes off, and then you have endorphins for another period of time, usually about 7 years, and then you have the 7-year itch, right? People get divorced. But let's say you guys are happily married, okay? And you're going to have an anniversary. It's after 7 years. Isn't that nice? An anniversary. Gatsby Books, right? And she's created a beautiful cake that says Gatsby on it. Okay, it's a cake. She's made it with her own little hands. She's spent all day in that oven, and she's a feeler, right? She's very emotional. The only problem is the cake is kind of burnt. Okay, so go ahead and get that cake, take it out of the oven, right? Take the cake out. Okay. It's kind of a burnt cake. Okay, give it to him. Now, what do you say about this burnt cake?
Happy anniversary.
Now, you're so thoughtful.
Really? What do the thinkers say about that? A thinking personality.
What happened?
Okay.
Can I give it to somebody?
Wait a minute. Did someone say it's burnt? Okay, it's burnt. Okay, he said it's burnt. Assuming you're a feeler, right? What do you feel now? It's burnt.
Start crying probably.
You start crying, right? Why? What are you crying? Because how's your feeling? She put all day, right? What special ingredient did she put in that cake? Love. Okay, you see what I'm saying? Well, look at her, right? Her face is drawn, right? You know, it's divorce time. However, I wanted you to save her, okay? Let's say you're a feeler. By the way, you're divorced now. Okay, you're done. We need a new husband or wife. We don't care. Okay, who here is a feeler personality? Okay, feeler. I want you to try it. Okay, what would you say to her? Let's go to her.
About her
Yeah, let's say you're married. Yeah, she brought you the cake. It's a little burnt. What would you say?
that was so thoughtful, and I absolutely appreciate the amount of time and effort that you put into that.
Yeah, okay, not bad. Okay, any other? Want to take a shot at this, Mr. Feeler in the back?
You know, I really appreciate all the time, the effort. I can see you try. I'm still gonna eat it, you know?
Oh, wait a minute. She's still gonna eat it. Can someone escort this guy out of here? I mean, that is not. You're not looking. Come on, feeler, right? Okay. Anyone else? Okay, see, you gotta show the love. Right? Okay, you wanna try? Yeah.
It's perfect. You just say it's perfect.
Okay, that's a lie. Okay. Now, let me tell you something about this. You know that thinkers and feelers, this is a good point. Thinkers and feelers have a different definition of the truth. Okay? People who are very logical says, you know, what's exactly literal truth, you know, the cake is burnt, you know, it looks too fat on you, whatever. The feeling person has a relational view of truth, where the truth is what impacts a relationship. If it hurts someone, they don't say it because that is a higher truth, right? In other words, protecting the relationship. Okay, that's the feeling personality. So, honey, you know, this cake is so wonderful, you know, it has so much love in it. I'm going to give it to all our neighbors so they can appreciate our love, you know? We're going to celebrate tonight because you're wonderful. You know?
I wanted to give it away.
Yeah, we got to say it the right way. Don't just give it away. You know, I want everyone to share our love. Okay. All right. Now, you can basically summarize this as thinking, okay, after making love, what does the feeler want to hear?
I love you.
Like, you mean it or you're just saying that? Okay, I love you, right? What does the thinker want to hear?
That was good. How good it was.
The Kama Sutra position 89 was 99 out of 100. Okay. 65 was a little bit off.
That was good.
Yeah, so it's a whole different mindset, okay? Now, again, you can work with each type. Depends on appreciating their type. Okay, now, one final dimension or question is, are you structured or spontaneous? Okay, now, on your letters, you have the letter J, which means judger or structured, which think of a judge, right? It's very structured. The letter P is perceiver, also known as spontaneous. So the structured person is usually on time or early to the seminar, to thing tonight, right? Organized, you know, they like their schedules. Spontaneous people, some of you guys here, right? You know, you go with the flow, right? You come late, but you know, you have your own time set. You like to you know, keep your life kind of in a flowing way. Okay, here's a question. I got 2 tickets to Vegas tomorrow. It's a work day. Would you go? Ask him.
Yeah. What time are you leaving?
Wait. Wait till she asks the question. Let's give her a chance. All right, here we go.
I got 2 tickets to Vegas tomorrow. I'm leaving early. Are you game?
Yeah. What time are we leaving?
Okay.
Interesting.
All right, now, okay, are you really that spontaneous?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Ask her the same question.
Want to go to Vegas?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No. Tomorrow, a work day.
Tomorrow's a work day, and I'm supposed to go to work. Would you like to play hooky with me?
But I'm structured, but I would go to Vegas.
What are you going to tell your boss?
You go tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm your boss. What are you doing?
I have
Wait. No.
We hit it big.
Okay, wait, hold a second. Are you really that spontaneous, or are you more of a planner?
I'm a planner.
Okay, so what would you really say? If you had to work tomorrow, what would you really say?
Yeah, I gotta work.
Is that true? Okay. So why is that?
Why is that? 'Cause I like to be on time or early. I like to know what I'm doing the next couple days. Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so see the difference here now. This is a very important dimension, structured or spontaneous in relationships. Imagine someone that is a structured person and marries a spontaneous person. You can have a lot of issues. You know, time, right? Spontaneous people are often late, right? Structured people are on time. That could be a big problem. Let's say you're on a date, for example, and he arrives, who's here structured, by the way? Structured people, raise your hands. Okay, structured people. So he arrives 15 minutes late to a movie date. What do you say to them? On the first date, right? Okay. Yeah, is this going to happen? You know, you're done, right?
You're done.
However, a spontaneous person, you arrive 15 minutes late. What do you say? You know, hey, just previews. What's the big deal, man? You know, let's get in our car, put on some music, sing Kumbaya. You know, let's enjoy life. You know, don't be still, so tight, right? So that's one factor. Spontaneity, another factor. The spontaneous person calls your employer and says, hey, she's sick today. Let's go to Hawaii. Okay. Now the structured person says, what are you doing? I have responsibilities, right? I got to be at work. They can't do that. So there are many different factors. Even in sex and making love, right? Spontaneity versus structure. Who here is spontaneous? Yeah. How do you like making love? How do you like making love?
He loves it.
Oh, you love it! I didn't ask you if you loved it. I just, okay. Different ways, different times, right? Different, opportunities. Structured people is a different matter. By the way, this is a true story. There's a guy who's getting married, a businessman, right, very successful, and he had a premarital agreement in which one of the clauses included sex. Really. He said, henceforth, after marriage, we shall have sex 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Between 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, wait a minute.
OCD.
But she's a structured person too, and they love that arrangement because they have their window of opportunity. The kids are asleep. They do their chores are done. They have their time.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
You like that or kind of?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of variables to consider.
Okay, now other people, it's not that thing, right? They have a different factor.
Hadn't
Okay,
thought of that.
so that's one thing. Okay, how about the big C word in relationships? What's the big C word?
Communication.
Communication and what is it?
Commitment.
Cuddle.
Okay, this is a spontaneous guy, right? Right. Actually, commitment, right? Commitment. In other words, where is this going? Now, structured people from the very beginning of a relationship are already thinking, is it going to be friends? Dating? Is it going to be marriage? What kind of father or mother will they make? They're already thinking far ahead. Spontaneous people is different, right? Hey, I'm going to take it as it comes. I'm going to see what's happening. So you might have a situation where you've been married together. So you're a structured person. We've been married together for 10 years. And we have 5 kids. Can we get married? Spontaneous person says, better. Well, what's the rush? Everything has its time. Right? So again, this could be an issue in relationships. So you can learn how to respect that other person's style, but it can be a challenge. Okay, now let's put it all together. Love types has 16 different personality types, and what we do is we find out who you are and who you're most compatible with. Usually 1 or 2 are best. So let's put our letters together. Okay, so can someone tell me the first letter, introvert or extrovert? Can someone write it down for me? You belly over here? What can we over here? Can you borrow that little thinger? Yeah, I want you to write this for me. There's a little marker there.
Oh, it's actually right there.
Okay, so I want you to write the letters for me so we have a clue here. Okay, so is she I or E? Introvert or extrovert? Okay, put extrovert for big letters. Okay, and next to him, introvert or extrovert?
Introvert.
Introvert, okay, put letter I. I should put it over here, I. And a little smaller one.
Oh, I still gotta answer this.
Okay, we don't have enough 4 letters. Okay, is she what's called imaginative or N or sensory practical? S.
And
N. Well, what does she want to do for the $10 million? Write a book, right? So she's got an idea, she's a creative person. Let's give her the N. Okay, and his type, practical or imaginative? Okay, so let's give him the letter S, which means sensory practical, right? Very feet on the ground, realistic, concrete. His favorite phrase is, if I see it, I believe it, right? Show me the facts, right? Show me the money, as they say. Okay, thinker or feeler dimension? Thinker or feeler?
Thinker.
A logical. She likes plot, she likes the storyline of the movies and that kind of thing. Give her a T, okay. And let's put their names. What's your name again?
Claudia.
Claudia, okay, and the gentleman?
Roger.
Okay, Roger, okay, so put their names up there. Okay, Roger, is he a thinker or a feeler?
thinker.
Thinker, okay, so they're both logical, that's good. Okay, T, yeah, okay. Isn't she a nice person to do this? It's kind of cool. She's the left type light, right? Okay. Okay, structure or spontaneous for her, Claudia? Good structure. Okay, how about him?
Spontaneous.
Didn't seem very unanimous.
Okay, now, P. P is perceiver spontaneous. Okay, so love types, we actually break it down, and each chapter has a different love type. So for example, her love type is ENTJ, and it's called the general personality. Okay, now the general is an extremely powerful individual. Let me know if this sounds like anything like you. You were created to be a leader, and you already know this. That's why you have already skipped all the sections in this book that don't directly apply to you. You have little patience for small talk, redundancies, or things you already know. As the most outspoken love type, is she a little outspoken?
Yep.
You enjoy building a team of success-minded people who share your desire for the important things in life, innovation and achievement, power and performance. So we talk about her personality type. She does well with a male general or a traditionalist, someone who's also traditional, strong-minded, leader personality, business-oriented personality. So we also talk about, we're going to meet a general. Now she's a high-power person, charitable political organization, religious organizations. They're often in fine import shops, exotic car dealers, single gourmet, sailing clubs, polo clubs, country clubs, those kind of things. Up-and-coming lawyers and things like that. How do you get a date with her? She likes verbal banter. Do you like a little wordplay, a little sarcasm? By the way, who here doesn't like sarcasm? Any feelers in here? Emotional style people?
Ted,
Okay, why don't you like sarcasm?
Why? Probably just because I like serious. Well, no, like I don't know why. I just don't. I don't actually don't know why. I'm not explaining. I
Because
just don't like
if you're in
sarcasm.
person, what can happen if there's sarcasm? You can take it personally, right? You can take it personally, you feel hurt. Logical people love that, they love the witty repartee, right? The debate and things like that, and they enjoy that. How do you get a date with her? Can you top this kind of thing? So you find something that you can be competitive with her at. A little bit about the sexual aspects as well. She likes to, be in charge sometimes. She likes to enjoy her partner. Long-term relationships. The general is one of the most domineering of all love types, honestly. However, she says, if I want your opinion, I'll argue it out of you.
Socratic method.
But they're very successful people.
No, get a bad rap here.
They're doing fine. In the long run, okay, a high achieving general. No, she's a high achiever, right? This is a power couple person, right? If you are a powerful person, you can match with her and create great things. She's exciting, stimulating, upwardly mobile, love type you will ever meet. If you give the general the opportunity, this person can be a driven, success-minded spouse who will do anything possible to make your marriage and family into the ever-increasing heights of success and prestige. Give a hand of applause to the general. Another gentleman here. Okay, does that sound a little bit like you?
Sounds very much like
Okay. All right. Another gentleman here is what we call a craftsperson. Okay.
What?
Craftsperson.
Crap, man.
Okay. Crafts, working with your hands, right? So you thrive on raw action, a thrill-seeking type of life that revolves around your hobbies and interests, whether it's racing, skydiving, motorcycle riding, I guess you said working with your hands. When it comes to trying new experiences, you're utterly fearless. You're the kind of guy who's willing to undergo a fresh adventure whenever the urge strikes you. And of course, you sometimes end up on your own because others may be afraid to join you on your daredevil stunts. Are you that kind of spontaneous guy? You like to do stuff like that? Tell me some of your hobbies you like to do.
Racing boats,
Okay. Racing boats? Okay.
riding motorcycles.
Uh-oh. This is the guy, right? This is the hands-on kind of
Harley,
dude?
yeah,
And dancing.
the ISTP.
Okay. ISTP, right? He's like a Clint Eastwood type. Remember Clint Eastwood back in the day? A strong man of action, right? He doesn't say a lot of words, right? But he gets things done, right? He's a very action-oriented person. So we talk about how to get a date with him, how to win his heart. Always give him more space than he may need. You don't like a very possessive, clinging kind of person, I would think. You want them to give you some space as well to pursue your interests and all that. A little cuddling's okay, right?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. Long-term relationship, sometimes they may find it difficult to stay in committed relationships because they do like to be spontaneous and wonder, maybe, you've had that experience in the past. However, the good news, because you're a firm believer in the right of everyone to pursue whatever activity you like in your own space, you're one of the most tolerant and egalitarian. You guys know what that means? So you allow people to do what they do as long as they don't interfere with you, right? So you're very open-minded, you're very tolerant personality. You respect people's individuality and desire for personal space. You make an excellent mate, fun-loving, and easygoing partner who are a joy to be around. And an applause for the craftsperson. Now, are they compatible? Not necessarily. Based
They
on
got
love.
some work to do.
Okay, that's some work to do. All right, now here's the key. Now, what I've done is the guy types actually is an updated version of love types. Love types came out in '99. This book actually is from a female perspective, but also applies to males too. And what I've done is it narrowed it down to 4 groups, right? And the groups that you guys have right now are the 4 groups are the meaning seekers. Raise your hands if you're a meaning seeker. You have the letter blue, the blue. Okay, you guys like psychology, philosophy, spirituality, the arts. Okay, you like to make a difference in the world. You're about 15% of the population. Who here is the knowledge seeker types? You know, the NTs, okay? You guys are into innovation, achievement. You might like science, business, those kind of things. You're very powerful individuals. You like to have success in life, and you believe in competence and intelligence. That's very important to you. You like a mate who can be, very intelligent and competent. You're about 10% of the population, so you're actually rarity. Then we have what are called the security seekers, SJs. Raise your hands if you're security seekers. Okay, you guys are the stability of our society, right? You're 45% of the population. You're the administrators, the organizers, the designated drivers, Seriously, for people,
Thank you.
thank you for your service, right? When your wallets are lost, you're the first one to find it and turn it in, right? Loyalty, family, tradition, that's your values, okay? And then, of course, we have the excitement seekers, okay? Any STs in here? The excitement seekers, right? You're the fun-loving guys, right? You're the excitement, the adventure, the spontaneity that brings to life. You're about 25% of the population. So within these different groups, what I suggest is you find someone that matches your group, your love group. Because you have more in common, you have more that you relate to that person. Now, people often ask me, do opposites attract? What do you think?
Yeah.
Initially.
In some ways, they seem to do that, but in reality, they really don't long term, right? Usually, your core values, your interests, other things like that, is what determines a long-term relationship success.
I say they attract and then they attack.
Okay. Okay. You attack, you're a general.
No, she just plans it.
Oh, that's right. She's got the strategic plan. But in reality, I tell people, actually, that doesn't happen as much as you think it does, except there's one place where people do find opposites attract. Can anyone guess where that place is? There's one scenario where opposites seem to attract and even work out well.
The T and the F.
Not necessarily. I'll give you the hint. It's actually in the movies. Okay. You see how romantic comedies, you have mismatched pairs. For example, she's a Harvard sociologist, and he's a homie in the hood. She's coming out here to investigate something, and they meet kind of weird, and she gets shot up, and he saves her life, and they fall in love at the end of the movie. And they get married, happily married. Would that happen in the real world, do you think?
No.
How long will they stay married, do you think, after that?
3 years.
Yeah, maybe not too long, right? They don't have, obviously, much in common. They're whole different worlds. So that's the issue, right? So usually similarities attract. So in guy types, I talk about, first of all, identifying the person that matches, your group. And what I call personality networking. Like, for example, meetup groups, social media. Get involved in groups that attract who you are. For example, meaning seekers. People that love psychology, philosophy, spirituality. Excitement seekers, bungee jumping or, race car driving, whatever. Those kind of organizations and groups can be very helpful to attract the right person. The other thing I talk about is how to love profile people. You've heard of profilers in the forensic world, right? I have a forensic practice as well in psychology. But instead of catching the bad guy, you want to find the good person, right? The good guy, the good gal. So there are actually nonverbal clues we can pick up. Meaning seekers, for example, have kind of soft colors. They like to use a lot of what do you call those? Emoticons? Emojis.
Emojis, yeah, same thing.
Yeah, emojis, yeah. So basically, feeling-oriented things. They like to talk about meaning in psychology. Excitement seekers have bold colors. They're very athletic looking. They have to have a flashy style, and all of them have different personalities. So what you want to do is you want to be able to read people very well, and then find the right person for you and network with them as well. Now, the last part of this is I actually talk about opposites. Now, some opposites can work. For example, let me see if I have you guys. Now, what is her love group? The 2 letters.
NT.
Can you show us again? Okay, so what is she? She's a NT. Okay, so she's we call it the knowledge seeker, the NT. Why don't you write down knowledge seeker there? Okay, knowledge seeker, and what is he? Okay, SP is what? What kind of a seeker? Excitement. Okay, all right, here we go. So we talk about, how they can get along. Now, knowledge seekers admire the excitement seekers' interest in tools and hand-on skills. They enjoy the excitement seeker's sense of fun, improvisation, and spontaneity, and even mischief. You seem like a very mischievous guy. I can tell, right?
No.
They also admire his proficiency.
Yes, proficiency with tools and getting things done, right? He can fix things right pretty well, right? The stuff in the house and whatever.
Virtuoso.
There you go, exactly. On the other hand, excitement seekers, you need her, or knowledge seekers, to focus you and keep you on task. You'll need her for her ability to stimulate your imagination and think about the possibilities of the future, how to advance your career and utilize your unique talents. The truth is that knowledge seekers enjoy control. And they find no personality more impossible to control than excitement seekers. Yeah, you're like yeah, well, she'll try. But you're like a bird, okay? Now birds, fly away, right? So this can be difficult. And sometimes you can disappoint her interest in the internal world. She likes to think about things, right, and ideas. So that can be an issue. But there's some possibilities, So basically, knowledge seeker likes to be respected. Excitement seeker likes to be praised. You look out for yourself. You hope others will look out for you. You're controlling, you crave freedom. You offer wisdom, you offer intrigue. You're strategic, you're carefree. You have narrow interest, you have broad interest. You're work-oriented, you're playful. You notice the thing about Vegas? What did he say before I asked the question?
Yeah.
He's there, right? He's there, right? He's playful. Now, you kind of said it, but then when you thought about it, right, you say, no, wait, I got to work tomorrow, right? So she can tend to be a little bit of a workaholic, I imagine, right? Because you're very hard driving and successful.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that this type can't work. I mean, any type, I think, can work to a certain extent. But the key is you have to respect that person's style. So I'm going to leave you with 2 little nuggets today, 2 important things. Number 1 is to learn how to embrace and accept your own personality type, your love type. Okay? Don't try to change yourself to please other people. You ever see that happen? And in fact, many times, there's something called falsification of type, which is when people don't allow their true type to blossom. When you're a little kid, let's say you're a male feeler, what does your dad say about being a male feeler? Right? What do you say? Don't do it, right? Because boys don't
Pride.
right? So, you might want to be a poet and, a singer or whatever, but, you can't really express your feelings. Or maybe you're very imaginative. And what did your parents say about that? Or other people say?
Get your head on the clouds.
Right. You got to be what? Get a practical job, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to write the sonnets or anything like that. You got to get a real job, you say. So again, that can really hurt your self-esteem, right? So number 1 is embrace who you are, find your authenticity within yourself, your love type. Meaning seeker, excitement seeker, idealistic philosopher, whatever type you are. And number 2, find people that resonate with that style. Like, get involved in personal networking, other aspect, personality networking, so you can draw people to you that resonate with your personality, whatever you are. Now, if you're with someone who is different from you, is anyone here actually with someone different from you in a relationship, even opposite in some way? Okay, who are you with right now?
I was with INFJ.
Okay, so that's kind of INFJ. Was that you or no? That was you.
No, I don't think we're.
Okay. Says, yeah, I know that. Okay, so okay, that's the tough divorce in the show up with someone. Like, wow. Okay, so INFJ is okay. That's called, and a lot of times it's called Mystic Rider. And what's your type?
ISTP.
Okay, you're a craftsperson. You're like him. Okay, what was the issue in that relationship? Do you think?
I guess maybe like communications.
Okay, give me an example of that.
He's like, I'm gonna call her tonight. Why did we break up?
Our views on education, I guess, that was one big thing. Like,
Okay.
She's very education oriented. She was big on that, and I was just like, I hate
Okay, so
these-
she's tell her what's her type again?
INFJ.
Yeah.
Okay, so she likes she's into psychology, philosophy, and stuff like that, or
Yeah.
arts. Okay, and you're more into hands-on kind of stuff, like
Right.
Okay, so that's the big issue. So yeah, I mean, learning how to. But see, if you want to stay with her, let's say there are wonderful things about her that you miss. Like what?
She's very, very kind. I mean, she was always there when you meet her. And,
Okay, so she has, she's like a giving person. The meaning seekers are often very giving and kind of loving, right? And emotional. If you can work it out with her, I don't know if you can. The key is to accept and respect their personality. Okay, don't try to change them, because many times when you get married to someone, it's like you have a license to sculpt. You think like you want to transform that person into the perfect image, right? You've heard of that. Now, does that really work when you do that? When you try to change someone in your image? No, because often they end up being resentful, right? And you feel frustrated. It doesn't work.
Yep.
So learn how to, if you're going to be with that person and there are other good qualities, learn how to really respect and appreciate their differences. That's crucial. So number 1, find yourself first, embrace your personality, whichever type you are, security seeker, meaning seeker, excitement seeker, knowledge seeker, and then attract the right person, or if you're with a person you really love and there's good things, respect and appreciate what they have. So let me just leave you with a couple of things here. What you want. Who here is logical people? Who are the thinker types? Is it male or female, right? Because we have a lot of females are thinkers. Okay, you guys thinkers in the back? Okay. Well, I anticipate that tonight you've learned some very valuable information. that will improve the competency of your dating and relationships, and even the efficiency and efficacy, based on verifiable research.
Good.
You're like,
Where was the
However-
study published?
Where are my emotional people? Where are my feelers? Okay, for you, I pray. That your hearts have been touched tonight. That you gather some wisdom and something that could really change your existence and bring love and happiness to you in a very high sense. And that your love be deep and your happiness everlasting. Thank you very much.
Wasn't that a wonderful time? That was so good. Well, now that you know about love types and guy types, it's really up to you to apply the knowledge. And what I wanted to make sure you knew is that we've got some good news. Dr. Avila has 4 advanced copies of Guy Types, which is this book. And they're here tonight, and they're available for purchase today for $9.99. And if you buy either this book or Love Types, then you're going to get this book free. Okay, and this is the 3 secrets of happiness. Now, before we talk anything about that, I want to make sure, has everybody signed in? Has everyone signed in today? Okay, great. And I want to make sure that you know that we have Facebook and Twitter, and we want you to be part of our community that we're putting together. It's really going to be a lot of fun, and I want to be sure you're able to, be part of it. There's one more thing. I want to have Dr. Avila come up here and just tell us just a little bit more about this, because it's a special book, and I want him to tell us about it. Can you tell us a little bit?
You want me back?
Come on. Come on up here.
Okay, so this is a little book I wrote. It's kind of like a fable. And I patterned this after, you guys ever heard of Carlos Castaneda? Who talked
Yes.
about the adventures of Don Quixote.
Don Juan.
So this is like basically a fable of a martial arts master, a hermit that lives in the mountains. And a psychiatrist wants to learn the secrets of happiness. And he actually goes up there, and he's writing a best-selling book. So I want to study it from this guy and learn. But the psychiatrist is very pompous and arrogant. And this martial arts master kind of pretty much breaks him down, helps him, swallow his ego so he can learn the real secrets of happiness. And the 3 secrets are very simple, very profound. And they are gratitude, joyful optimism, and forgiveness. Okay? Now, research has actually proven that these are very powerful attributes that happy people have. The first is gratitude. Now, gratitude is to realize that the good that comes to you comes from outside you, whether it's friends or family, a higher power, even a stranger, right? Anyone ever run down the side of the road, someone comes to help you. It doesn't happen as much in California, but it happens a lot of places, right? And just be grateful every day. In fact, there's research that shows through Western positive psychology, which is a new trend in psychology, that people who keep a gratitude journal, they write 3 things every day they're grateful for 2 weeks, have 30% less depression and 40% better sleep. Very fairly proven. So basically, every day you wake up and you write 3 things you're grateful for. Now, let me ask someone here, what are you grateful for right now? Can someone tell me something you're grateful for at this moment?
Being alive.
Okay, that's a very good one. Okay, what else?
I love my work.
Okay, what do you do?
I'm a certified addiction treatment counselor.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, so you're helping people. Definitely. Excellent. Any other people that you're grateful for other things? Okay, kids, yes.
Good health.
Okay, good. Okay. I want you guys to do this now. I'm going to give you a little homework tonight, okay? And then you can email me. Everyone's got my information. Every day for the next week, write 3 things you're grateful for in a little journal. Okay, keep that journal, and tell me how you feel afterwards. Has it affected your mood? Do you feel better in some way? Less depression, maybe more, a little less anxiety, more of a happiness. Number 2 in the book, 3 Secrets of Happiness, is forgiveness. Okay, we know this is a very powerful thing. It's very hard to do, to forgive others, but you know what's even harder sometimes? It's to give yourself, right? Your regrets. This is a horrible and difficult thing for many people. So I talk about that in the book. It's one of our most beautiful aspects of it. Self-forgiveness. Now, there was a Vietnam War veteran that came back from Vietnam. He had, seen a lot of combat, but it didn't really affect him. Some people do have PTSD, and he was fine. He got married, he had a great family, he had a great business, he was a businessman. One day, his son turned 15 years of age, and he started having flashbacks to Vietnam. He thought the Viet Cong was following him. He bought a gun, You know, he was just losing it pretty much. His wife was ready to divorce him. And he went to therapy. So in therapy, what he learned was that back in Vietnam, this is a memory he had repressed, he actually had killed a 15-year-old boy, soldier, Vietnamese soldier. They had just the age that his son had turned. So somehow that triggered the memories and what he did. Obviously, he felt extremely guilty, he felt, horrible. Even though it was wartime, he took the life of a young boy, a young man. He started to heal himself and, a little bit of forgiveness. He ended up adopting a Cambodian boy to his family. And that helped the healing process, right? So he learned through compassion, through doing this, I've actually learned to forgive myself. And actually, I took a life and now I'm raising a life. So that was an amazing moment, so it was like a whole transformation. The last secret is something that's very powerful, and it's called joyful optimism. Joyful optimism. So optimism comes from the root word optimus, which means to expect the best. Right? Now, they've actually done studies that you can actually increase your luck. Would anyone here want to be luckier in life?
Yeah.
Fewer car accidents, fewer problems, good relationships, And they actually found that some people actually have good luck. They get into good relationships, they make money in the stock market, whatever it is, they don't. Other people have bad luck, people like that. I'm on my 4th divorce, I've had 3 accidents, et cetera, et cetera. They found that people that have good luck are usually more optimistic. They have a higher expectation of what's going to happen, a positive expectation. So they actually did a study where they had people who were both unlucky and lucky in life. Imagine the scenario. You're in a bank, in walks in a robber. He shoots in the air, and you get shot in the shoulder. Is that good luck or bad luck?
Bad luck.
Okay, bad luck. Why do you say it's bad luck? Who said bad luck?
I did.
Okay, why?
Because you got shot.
Exactly! Unfortunately, you would have bad luck in life if you really said that. That kind of person.
Next time you wouldn't miss.
In fact, people with bad luck, actually something, I got shot, I was minding my own business, I got shot in the shoulder. People who had good luck in life were actually more optimistic. They would say, something? I could have been shot in the head and killed. Plus, I'm going to be in the news tonight and get free publicity for my business. So, hey, that's okay. Show me one more time and anywhere. Okay. See the difference, right? That's the optimistic personality. So all those 3 are really secrets of happiness. It's not about money and not about this and that. It's about those internal traits. The more you develop them, the happier you will be as a human being, and you can also give your happiness to others. So again, I ask you to practice those 3 secrets of happiness, so you too can have love and you can have happiness. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, thanks again. Let's tell Dr. Allen. We all hope that you have a really wonderful night. We want to thank everyone for coming and thank Gatsby Books for having us here. That's a fantastic thing. And we have some interns who helped us. Thank you so much. This is great. And thank you all for coming, and be sure that you join us on Facebook. We'd love to have you there.
And everyone sign the sign-in sheet. Also, I can sign books for you guys. I can answer any questions afterward if you'd like to do.
Can I introduce my company real quick?
Sure.
Hi everybody, so I'm the owner-founder of a company called The Love Courses, where I teach women and men how to effectively communicate with each other and understand each other. No one taught us how to do that, and so it became a purpose of mine to figure out what are the trigger words for men that men need to provide and protect for us, and I've done that for the past 10 years. So I teach that, and I'll have my cards back there so you guys have any questions. I'm a consultant. Yes, and my background is psychology as well. Yeah, thank you.
Spoken like a true gentleman. Well, I do want to have a shout out for a good friend of mine, Nachim Sandoval, a radio personality who's been on the radio many times, Éxitos and other radio.